beauty, prestige, fame, aesthetic, youth, clout. There is a price you have to pay. And is it worth it? Vanity and physical appearance have become the guiding norm of today's society. The age of digital self-obsession is forcing people to compete with each other to validate their self-worth. Who is prettier? Who has the sexiest figure? Who has the softest and younger-looking skin? We are living in an era where humans are putting forth this edited and inflated version of themselves, this idealized self that is quite unrealistic to achieve. The worst thing that could happen is that they literally fall in love with themselves to the point of borderline narcissism. And this is where Dorian Gray syndrome came into existence as a manifestation of how obsessed we are about our looks. In fact, it has become such a problem that it now borders on pathological. Dorian Gray syndrome is a set of symptoms quite telling of modern times. It consists of a resistance towards aging and an extreme fear that one's body will get deformed as the years goes by. Experts consider it pathological whenever it negatively impacts behavior. The syndrome's name comes from the famous novel The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Wilde narrates the story of a man who longs for eternal youth as his portrait takes his place and goes through the process of aging in his place. Dorian Gray syndrome was described for the first time in 2000 by therapist Dr. Berhard Brozik, who co-authored an article of the same name. He had noticed how many people were coming to his office in a near panic about aging. The most concerning aspect about people with Dorian Gray syndrome is that sometimes they do dangerous things to hold back the aging process. For example, they might have a lot of plastic surgery done and overuse Botox. These procedures can be risky, especially if not done correctly. It is important to note that victims of Dorian Gray syndrome aren't just obsessed with looking young, they also stunt their emotional growth. They want to keep seeing life like an 18-year-old and do in fact keep behaving like a teenager. There are still no standardized characteristics for Dorian Gray syndrome. However, Dr. Brozik was able to identify certain characteristics that seem to be quite representative of it. These are the primary behavioral patterns that someone with the syndrome presents with. Dysmorphophobia, which is a fear of deformation. Absolute refusal to accept the process of physical and emotional maturation. Abuse of body-altering procedures. Drug use in an attempt to hold back the aging process or compensate for the effects of aging. Anxiety disorders. Personality disorders. Self-destructive behaviors. These kinds of people almost always live their lives somewhere between fantasy and frustration. They fantasize that a new treatment or products will give them back their youth. When they realize that there is still no fountain of youth, they get frustrated. However, they believe it is a failure of science and surgery, not of their own perception. What is usually underneath Dorian Gray syndrome is the person who is terrified. Their greatest fear is being rejected for not meeting the beauty standards of their world. They think having a good body means having a good life. Unfortunately, they are right to some extent. Many companies do have superficial reasons for hiring or promoting workers and influencers basing it on appearance and image. It is true that a person's environment is what it is, but it's also up to each individual how to respond to it. Some people won't let their environment objectify them. Others, however, like people with Dorian Gray syndrome, passively bow down to the pressures. This is because they have a narcissistic vacuum inside of them. They don't value themselves enough and instead give too much power to social norms. Overall, people who suffered from Dorian Gray syndrome is also experiencing a rejection of oneself because they can't accept themselves as they are. They don't recognize the power they have over themselves. They can't see the autonomy that every human being has, and so they become helpless. You will see them defending their environment while denying themselves. They assert themselves by forcing themselves to be what others want them to be. This is exactly how anxiety turns into their constant companion, and things escalate to such a point that they will likely need therapy to get well again. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss our future updates. Until then, stay safe and we will see you in the next videos.